gentlemen.
Team Thunder versus Team Nitro.
Well, technically, that's what Last Survivor is. Last Survivor are.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. This is the owner of the brand new company EGCW. And it will take place episode 3. And match cards, we're going to see the EGCW World Heavyweight Champion Jason King against the Violent Tick CJ MUNDO. But also, our hardcore champion, Ray Orion, as he defends that title against Feck, kicking off the show. Now, here's what we're going to say in EGCW. This is for all the superstars that's a part of it. I don't want you guys making shots for any company outside of EGCW except for storyline that me and another owner agrees on. So, therefore, if you make shots at another EFED and they get mad, they won't be coming after me. It'll be all you. So in other words, make sure that you stick to kayfabe and stick to storyline driven on EGCW. Now, there's a match that I'm going to book at Barely Legal. We already have 2 matches already in store. Jason King will defend the EGCW World Championship in an Extreme Bloodhound match against Billy Ray Dog, but that's not going to be the first. Because in this company, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to see CJ MUNDO and Aaron Angel compete for the EGCW Television Championship in an Extreme Rules as well. So that means here in EGCW, we are like ECW. We do not back down from anyone. Now, if there's a superstar in this company that has personally taken shots against my company, I will unleash more hell than hell has on earth. Now, what I'm going to do for EGCW as the owner, this is more like the questions and answers. So if you feel entitled that you want to ask questions here, go ahead. Let your voice be heard, fans or superstars. So what I'm about to do is a Q&A for the new company. As you see right here, EGCW, this company is going to be like ECW. Non-scripted, shoot promos. And we live by the terms hardcore. Now, for this Q&A that I'm doing here on this channel, if anybody's coming in or watching, this is like a Q&A. So if you want your voice to be heard, you want questions, put them down in the chat. Because what I'm doing with EGCW, I changed the 2 front words. It was CECW. I changed it around for this reason. Now, since this new company is standing out and it's going to be the first official episode on episode 3, it will also take over from episode 2 where we had CECW. So in other words, we buy CECW out and we bring the new one in. So now, what's going to happen is there's going to be a lot of things that I'll do as the owner. We already have a head of director, which is Ray Everett. We also have a GM. Johnny Saban, it's simple. You can shoot promos at anybody on the roster, but anybody outside the roster cannot be targeted unless the owner, unless I have a owner to owner talk first and they agree to it. None of y'all can shoot on promos on anybody outside of EGCW. So if you do a shoot promo outside of anybody, it's going to be reflected on you. So in other words, I'm telling you as the owner, if you do it, it's not going to really be reflected on my company. It's going to be reflected on you as the individual. So therefore, you're taking responsibilities in your own hands for the negativity, not me. This is the new way of me doing stuff. Now, what's going to happen is, now I do got Johnny Saban on the roster, and I do have Cash. So, therefore, I'm probably later on down in the show, they will probably compete against one another down the road. Now, when we get to pay-per-views, there's a lot of pay-per-views that we're going to go and have on our show. One of those pay-per-views that's going to be mentioned is one of my favorites, and this was an ECW pay-per-view I'm bringing to this eFed, is, of course, November to Remember. That will be our Thanksgiving pay-per-view for EGCW. So here's how this is going to work far as EGCW goes. And since I am the owner of this company, this is how this is going to work. Therefore, when you guys, like I said, when you guys do your shoot promos, it's only for people in the company. Now, unless I'll talk owner to owner with them, then I will let you guys know in my chat, and then we'll take it from there. But if it's not, if they didn't agree to it, then you can't do it. So just letting you know on my side. So if you do it, it's on you. So I told you once, told you twice, shame on you, sort of thing. The match cards that's going to happen on episode 3, I've already got the match cards set up. And we're going to have a hardcore championship defended, as Feck will be taking on Ray Orion for the hardcore championship. Now, the second match is going to be a triple threat Extreme Rules that I have personally made it the King's Rules match. And the only way to win this is pinfall or submission, elimination style for match 2. Now, match 3, we're going to have the which was the CECW TV champion, now known as EGCW TV champion, Aaron Angel. He will be taken on Bayou Voodoo. So therefore, Bayou Voodoo will have a match against him. Then Devin Jordan will step up against Dark Broski. CJ MUNDO will take on the EGCW World Heavyweight Champion, Jason King. So in other words, it is going to be interesting to see what the EGCW champion Jason King can do against CJ MUNDO. Now, I will tell you guys that eFed owners that are watching and wanting to take a look at CJ MUNDO may want to stay tuned to episode 3. This is going to give you an insight what my character is all about. So if you like him, I've decided not to come to the eFeds. You guys got to come to me as CJ MUNDO. That's just something I'm throwing in there. As far as that goes, getting my mind off that, our main event is John versus Dakota Knight versus Damian Cross versus Malcolm Winters versus Ryan Storm in a 5-man Extreme Rules match. So in other words, anything can happen in this Extreme Rules match. Now, I will say this, EGCW is hardcore. So, like I said in the beginning of the video, if you target another company outside of this company, I'm not going to take responsibility for it. As you as wrestlers, you guys are going to have to take responsibility for it. Your actions, your words, you take responsibility. So therefore, if you do a shoot promo to another company, which I told you in the beginning of this video not to do, it's off my case and now on yours. So therefore, you may want to rethink about what you're doing. So I know that EGCW, we got a lot planned. There's going to be a lot of editing coming once I get a laptop. So in other words, don't think that you're just going to be a sitting duck out in the hot pond when you're going to be facing big names. You're going to be facing people that I'm bringing in, or people that's new to the eFed community I'm bringing in. So this EGCW is like ECW, because I am a huge fan of ECW. I want to tribute ECW standards. So if you're a superstar that's watching this or catching the replays, I would recommend this. If you want to join, you may want to reconsider, because if you can't handle the shoot promo, if you can't handle being hardcore, then this eFed ain't for you. I'm just going to throw that out there, because this is going to be as close to ECW as we can get. So therefore, if you can't handle the shoot promo, if you can't handle somebody taking shots and doing like they did in ECW, then like I said, this company ain't for you. Because when I ran NWF, I made it as close as WWE, but I didn't feel as the owner that I was getting anywhere by the content that I was doing. So therefore, I came up with a new ideal, and hopefully this works. So on episode 2, we saw some words being transpired between Liv and another company. So I'm just saying this as the owner, as for my wrestlers on EGCW, to watch who you're targeting. Because I'm trying to make this as friendly and fun and also close as ECW as I can get, like I said before. But also we got to watch, because of we got people that didn't like what was said or didn't like what was said in chat, and it went from being nice to being verbal and a bunch of personal attacks. So therefore, as EGCW owner, I will be starting doing contracts for this company. So everybody will be doing the contracts, and what the contracts will say is unless it's storyline driven, unless I talk to a different eFed owner, you cannot take personal shots against a company or another company unless it's story driven, unless the owner of that eFed that you're targeting agrees to the standards. You're not doing that no more. That's how I'm fixing that issue. Another issue I'm fixing is the way that we are doing things now. We are transitioned to hardcore to ECW, and I'm trying to make this as friendly and fun as possible. So if you got any heat between one other person, I'm just saying this here on the chat as well, make sure you message them or find a way you can get him in a chat and talk it out like an adult. Because there's a lot of hostility that was thrown over one person saying something on episode 2. So I'm just referring this as Liv, you gotta watch what you say. So as the owner, like I said, no taking personal shots at another company outside of EGCW. I don't care if you want to do it to one another in my chat, but make sure you guys having fun. But do not call out other companies outside of EGCW. That's rule I'm putting down. Second rule, if you got hostility between a superstar outside of this, please make it known that don't use it in my chats. Make sure it's outside of my chats to where my company don't look bad. Just putting that out there as well. Another thing I'm going to put on here for this company is, I know a lot of people are currently watching the streams, and I want to try to say this as nice as I can put it. Instead of taking screenshots in my chats, I prefer you message me if something is said or something that you feel like you are being attacked. Message me on Facebook. You got me on Twitter, Discord, etc. So that's another thing I'm fixing, because there were screenshots taken, what somebody said, and it kind of fired back the wrong way. So therefore, that's all that I can think about. So basically, rule number 1, don't take shots out of EGCW to another company. If you got a problem with somebody outside this company, please don't bring the negativity in. I've already talked about that. Title shots are going to be earned and not just given out on a daily basis. This is still going to be a non-shoot promo, so if you are on my roster, just know that, hey, if you can't handle shoot promos, then this eFed's not for you. Just saying. Another thing I'm going to put is Death Shadow will be retiring. I've already let a couple people know he will be retiring on my show and everyone else's show. I will put him in a match with somebody, and that will be his last retirement match. So therefore, this is probably the last time you'll see Death Shadow. If you guys got any questions, now's the time to type it in the chat. That way you know. So basically, this is like a Q&A. You could be a fan, you can be a wrestler, one of my management, but if you got a question, now's the time to ask to get an answer. Because once I go live, I'm really not going to have time to go back and answer the questions. So I'm giving a moment for anybody that's watching the chat, got a question they want to ask, and I'll try to give my best answer too here on this podcast for this new company. So what is up, John? Welcome. What is up, Chris? You got an answer? I mean, you got a question that you want to ask in the chat, now's the time to do so. Everybody's got a chance. I mean, Nixon already asked, how hardcore can we get? I told him, as long as you guys are doing it in chat and not targeting another company, I'm fine with. But if you're targeting another company, that's when it becomes an issue. But you guys are allowed to ask questions here, because it's what this is about. Because Tuesday, when I start this, we are doing EGCW on Tuesday nights. So if you got somewhere you got to be, you can catch the replays. But I've already got a commentary team set up. It's going to be me, and I know Ray. And I think Jody wanted to help too. So there's 3 on commentary. But if you got, like I said, if you guys got questions, now's the time to ask. I like Forever a Nation. Forever a Nation. So you throw stuff at FAA and we just throw stuff back. I don't know. We got some extreme superstars on my end, so I really don't know. We got Ron Storm, and he's one of the tough ones here. So that's basically what is going on in EGCW. Oh, Johnny Saban, you crack me up. Basically, like I said, the EGCW, we're going to have like 4 rules that I can name off the bat. One is not targeting any company outside of EGCW unless I talk to the owner and we both agree on such things. That's how I'm doing that one. So, I mean, if you guys want to do it in your eFeds, you do it how you want to do it. But this eFed is not going to be tolerated unless I talk to the owner and he or she agrees on that storyline thing. As far as EGCW goes, we are making a lot of progress in fixing the current logos and all of that for the pay-per-views, because I had to go back and change a lot of stuff, so it's not going to be the same as you normally know it as CECW. It's EGCW. So as you can see the logo, this is what it's going to look like. There's another thing I'm going to say too, that I know that on pay-per-views that we're going to have a lot of titles that's going to be either defended or crowned on that side. Another thing that I'm going to do, me and Ray's got to talk about it, is FAN versus EGCW at one point. Maybe I'll make an arena and can do it on my side, or he can do it on his, but we're going to try to make this fun and entertaining for you guys to be entertained with this. And speaking about this, I will let Liv Brodsky know that you will be defending your championship at EC Barely Legal in a fatal 4-way. Now we got to find 3 contenders to put you in against. So I'm letting you know firsthand that, hey, you're defending your title, so get ready. I think that's all I pretty much stated here on this little short episode of EGCW and announcements. Another thing is, EGCW will not be in pay-per-view versus pay-per-view like a Crossroads, unless an individual talks to me personally. I just felt like that I don't need to be putting myself as a company out there, because I'm more a person having fun than getting the views. That's what it's all about. So, going back to the rules, and I'm probably going to repeat this for the 3rd time. No attacking companies outside of EGCW. That's going to be a rule that's going to be enforced. The second rule is that if you got a problem with somebody that is in EGCW or outside of EGCW, you try to talk it out. Because if you're in EGCW and it kind of backfires both directions, then EGCW is not responsible for you and their arguments. So in other words, if you top it, we're just going to have a contract that says we are not responsible of your actions. So therefore, if you go way out of proportion, then it's going to be on you. Fully 100% on you. So I'm just putting that out there for my superstars that are watching and also watching the replays. Title shots going to be earned, but we're going to have fun. And the last but not least, when we do a pay-per-view, we're going to make this as close as ECW as we can get it, but at the same time, try to have fun and not bring any negative things in this eFed. That's all I asked as the owner. Like I said, if you guys got any questions, now's the time to do it, because I'm going to be off here in 2 minutes. So or you can type it in the not message, but comments chat, and I will try to answer it as soon as I get home or doing my personal stuff. So now, without further ado, we're going to call it a night. And hope you guys tune in Tuesday night for EGCW, as we're going to kick off this a very historic card. And I think, like I said, I don't know if this is going to happen, but I think me, Ray, and Jody is going to be on commentary booth. I don't know if anybody else wants to jump in, but I know that's us three doing it as commentary. So stay tuned for the show, and we will see you guys on episode 3 for EGCW.